My favorite tools on Blackboard are the YouTube mashup, Blackboard discussions, blogs, and wikis.
I would say the discussion board, because I do something called Lecture After Party.
I find it pretty powerful, the online quizzes.
When I use Blackboard discussions and blogs, I can give students specific individual comments about what they have stated in their blog or in their discussion post. And so it's much more personal, it's much more immediate. Students get that feedback within a week at the most of when they post their response. And I can also highlight both strengths and weaknesses in a way that's much more in tune with each student's individual performance than I can in the classroom.
It just kind of continues the conversation from the lecture even after we've finished the hour and 15 minutes. So it's interesting how the conversation continues days, even weeks after.
It's called Blackboard, but it's more like a bulletin board. Teacher can post things. So for example, announcements, homework assignments, reminders about quizzes, and of course the teacher can post that at any time, day, night, weekend, holiday, pajamas, 4 in the morning, and the students can similarly access that as well.
There are different types of students in the classroom, those who are outgoing and those who are a little bit more reserved. And I found that on the Blackboard environment, they're more outgoing, the ones who are normally quiet in the classroom.
I think the key difference I see, or the key impact in terms of engagement, is the students really form a community when they communicate online with each other. They start out with introductory blogs or discussions in each of my classes, and they get to know each other before the class even starts, really. I also require them to either reply or comment on each other's blog or post, and so they're sort of forced to communicate in a way that I can't quite do in the classroom because of time constraints.
Well, the major thing that I've taken advantage of is making lecture videos. I do it not by recording an in-class lecture, but I sit at home and again in my pajamas or relaxed, sometimes 2 in the morning, and I record a segment of lecture with PowerPoints provided by the publisher.
Well, it really has provided accountability, because now students have access to certain documents that I might have passed out before. They may have asked me again for, but if they're already on Blackboard, they can print those documents again, or they can see them in advance.
So in one case, I asked students to watch a video clip and then to talk about the single story of their own culture. And it was really interesting to watch the interaction on Blackboard, because they were writing supportive comments to each other. They were writing comments that said, hey, I understand how you feel. The same story is told about my culture. And so it was really interesting to kind of see them interact in such a more deeply personal way than they do in the classroom, while at the same time relating what they were saying to what I was trying to teach in the course.
My key recommendation would to get students to log into Blackboard the very first day, or preferably before classes start. So I've had some difficulty with that, but one teacher gave me an excellent recommendation, and that is to give an assignment the week before to send to the students, requiring the students to log into Blackboard and post a comment maybe in the discussion group. You know, it's sort of a low-stakes thing, but to force them to get into Blackboard. And then when they come in the first week and say I had problems logging in, at least you knew that they tried, and you can clear up the problems within the first week or 10 days rather than waiting way into the semester.
I would like to say that you should try baby steps, especially if you're afraid. And initially I was afraid, and it seemed very overwhelming, but I found that when I started taking little bites of the Blackboard, it wasn't that scary. For example, I uploaded my syllabus. That was the first step. Then I just uploaded different documents, and then I started with week-by-week activities.
The advice I would give to faculty is to just begin slowly. Play with some of the tools and see what you like and what works for you. Don't feel pressured to make everything tech savvy immediately. I think just sort of trying out one tool perhaps, and then slowly adding others, and just kind of keeping a feeling of play, and even sharing with the students, hey, I've never done this before, but I want to try something new. Tell me what you guys think, and getting them involved in the creative process of using Blackboard.